rate.
Phil, thank you very much. Joining us right now to talk about what's at stake for Boeing is Seth Kaplan, aviation analyst at Kaplan Research. Also, Tim Lesko, who is partner at Granite Investment Advisors. Granite owns about 29,000 shares of Boeing. Seth, you say that we are getting to the point where there are some unexpected sort of situations, things that are a bit more of a surprise as this has developed.
Yeah, early on, people who were optimistic that this was only a weeks-long problem, that always seemed fanciful. But I think most of us really thought that, hey, by late summer, we'd be getting at least close to these planes back in revenue service. And here we're at this point now where who knows, right? And unfortunately, Boeing has put itself in this situation where all kinds of things are being unearthed that, nobody probably would have found in the first place. Had some very basic things not go wrong, but, hard to see the bottom at this point. Everybody, obviously, Boeing, the FAA, and all those airline customers rooting for a quick and safe return to service.
Tim, as a shareholder, has your confidence been shaken?
Certainly not our confidence in the long-term viability of the 37 MAX and the 787. But to echo the other guest comments, it did seem like it was going to be a week or a month-long kind of problem, and now it seems interminable. And also to talk about what Phil was talking about, if they begin to look at cutting production, that's going to put a pretty big pall over this year's numbers and next year's numbers, and people will have to start rethinking how long-term an investor are they in Boeing.
Tim, would you sell at that point if it looked like they were going to cut production, or are you in this for the long haul?
Well, we've been in it for the long haul, and we expect to be in it for the long haul. The Boeing is a cash flow machine. They have several other, areas of revenue. They have a defense business. They have a space business. So I don't think any of these individual issues would shake us out of Boeing. But when they start adding together like this, it does shake your confidence a little bit, but we expect to hold in.
And Becky, by the way, I think it's also important to think not just in terms of volume, in terms of how many units you crank out, but in terms of pricing. Remember, a lot of these issues were related to the fact that Boeing was trying to produce an airplane where pilots could transition to it from the older airplanes without a whole lot of expense, without having to take on new time on expensive simulators. And if it turns out that you need more pilot training on an ongoing basis, and if airlines end up assigning less value to the plane because of those, who knows, millions of dollars in extra training costs, then that could put downward pressure on the plane forever. We're not there yet,
sure.
But yeah, it's not, it's volume, but it's also yield, and so that's something else that from a Boeing standpoint you want to get some more assurance than you have right now.
Phil, quick thought?
My question is basically for Tim. You hear people all the time say, don't worry about Boeing, invest for the long term. It'll be back someday. In the meantime, is this dead money? In other words, if you are a money manager, are you better served saying to your clients, look, you got a big chunk of change here. You're going to get it back eventually with Boeing, but Lord knows when. You're better served for the next 6 months, 9 months, a year, putting it somewhere else?
Well, yeah, I think you could consider it close to dead money. Really, unless there's some other surprise that happens with Boeing or something happens a little quicker, nothing has gone right for Boeing over the last 6 months. I think what you start getting into is a concern that not only are they producing 42 planes a month, but that's a certified level of production. And as you change your production levels, you have to get FAA clearance to do so. So the road back becomes longer and longer every week, day, and month that this goes on. So it may be dead money for a little while.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you. It's good to see you all.
Thank you.